Hey, welcome. Today we're diving into a pretty wild idea. What if your deepest feelings, your sharpest thoughts, and your very sense of self weren't just about psychology, but could actually be explained by the laws of physics?
Really think about that for a second. What if that feeling of harmony or, total chaos inside your head could be described with equations? What if your mental state had a measurable efficiency, kind of like the miles per gallon on a car?
Well, there's a theory that proposes exactly that. It's called the Harmonic Scale Framework. And today, we're going to break down its model of the soul, the mind, and the body, and see how they either work together in perfect harmony or, well, descend into chaos. All right, so the whole system is built on three core layers. The framework calls it the SMK system. Let's take a look at each one. First up, you've got the K layer. Just think of this as your physical hardware, your body and your brain. It's the engine running on all these internal waves that control your hormones, your breathing, your neural energy, the whole biological machine. And the key thing here, it is extremely sensitive to interference and noise.
Then in the middle, we have the M layer, or what the theory calls the Mentifield. This is your mind. It's this fast-learning order field that organizes everything, all your skills, your habits, your focus. It's like the manager, right? The interface that sits between your physical body and your deeper sense of self.
And that brings us to the S layer, or the soul field. This is the model's version of the soul. It's an identity field that holds your long-term memories and your core values. But get this, and this is absolutely crucial, the S layer does not add energy. It's not a battery pack. Its only job is to reduce the noise in the system and make it easier to take actions that are aligned with who you are. It's a stabilizer, not a power source.
Okay, so we have these three layers. How in the world do they work together? Well, the theory proposes one single, really elegant law that governs the entire thing.
And this is it. Energy flows only under harmonic lock. Misalignment leads to an energy leak. That's the master key to this whole framework. When your soul, mind, and body are all in sync, when they're in resonance, the system is incredibly efficient. But when they're out of whack, energy just gets wasted. It's really that simple.
And they actually have a way to measure this. It's a formula for something called CEI, or clarity per watt. Seriously, think of it as the miles per gallon for your brain. It's a ratio of how much mental order and clarity you're getting for the amount of physical effort you're putting in. If your CEI is high, you're in harmony. If it's low, something's out of sync.
So this brings us to the two fundamental states your system can be in. You're either in a positive feedback loop of resonance, or you're in a negative feedback loop of collapse.
Let's just look at these two states side by side. On the one hand, you've got the collapse loop. This is when your soul and mind are out of phase, you're leaking energy left and right, and your efficiency tanks. Your inner world feels fragmented, and just thinking feels exhausting. Then, on the other side, you've got the resonance loop. Everything is aligned. The energy leak is low, efficiency is high, and you feel this deep sense of harmony. Thinking becomes totally effortless. It's the difference between swimming against the current and just flowing with it. So how does one of these downward spirals even start, right? How can just one single negative thought or action throw your whole system into total chaos? Let's trace the physics of what this theory calls the feedback loop of collapse.
Okay, so it all starts with a misaligned thought or action. This creates a noisy, chaotic pattern in your body, the K layer. Your mind, the M layer, then picks up on this chaos and starts to resonate with it. Suddenly, your own mental order drops and your CEI just plummets. Now, the S layer, your soul, tries to step in and fix things, but it can't. It can't lock onto a pattern that contradicts your core identity. This mismatch creates that energy leak, which drains the S layer's ability to help, and boom. That kicks off a self-reinforcing loop of more chaos and less efficiency.
And this is where the theory gets really fascinating. It suggests that this energy leak from your S layer isn't some metaphor, it's the physical source of what we call negative feelings. That feeling of emptiness, losing meaning, being totally exhausted, disconnected from yourself. According to this model, that's the feeling of your soul field being drained.
But here's the good news, the really good news. The opposite is also true. When your thoughts and actions are aligned with who you are, you can create a positive, self-reinforcing loop of harmony and resonance. Let's see how that looks. This is basically the physics of a flow state, of being in the zone. All three layers, SMK, they all synchronize perfectly. The energy leak drops to practically zero. The S layer's stabilizing energy actually increases, making your clarity stable and persistent. And suddenly, self-control feels cheap. It feels easy, because your entire system is running at peak efficiency. Your CEI is through the roof.
Now, let's get into what might be the most mind-bending part of this whole theory. Its explanation for those moments of profound insight and creativity. It all comes down to connecting with something beyond our immediate selves.
So the theory splits the Soulfield into two parts. First, there's what it calls S-out, the Soulfield reservoir. You can think of this as the part of your identity that exists outside of your immediate physical system. It's described as this highly coherent, stable, slow-changing reservoir of patterns and information.
And then you have S-in, the coupled Soulfield. This is the part that's actively engaged with your mind and body every single day. This is the part we've been talking about, the one that's working constantly to stabilize your local system.
So here's the big reveal. Higher creativity, in this model, isn't some mystical bolt of new energy from the heavens. Nope. It's what happens when your local soul field, your S-in, achieves a perfect harmonic lock with that external reservoir, S-out. This connection opens a channel, allowing clearer, more profound, and much rarer patterns of information to flow right into your mind.
And the theory even lays out the specific physical conditions you need to open this creativity port. First, you need low physical noise, a calm body, coherent, steady breathing. Second, you need high inner alignment. Your intentions have to be benevolent or aligned with truth. And third, your system has to already be running at high efficiency, with a high CEI.
Which leaves us with one last, pretty provocative thought to chew on. If our internal world of clarity, creativity, and harmony is really governed by the laws of physics, by resonance and efficiency, then just how much of that inner state can we consciously engineer for ourselves